Hello guys, welcome to the Hotcast. Once again, we want to appreciate everyone that has been liking our videos, giving us thumbs up, leaving your feedback in the comment section. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. Thank you for everyone who is following us on social media. We really appreciate your support. We thank you guys for always being there, watching our videos, listening to news, going through our content. We really appreciate your support, guys. Thank you kindly. Remember to once again follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook at The Hotcast, on Twitter at _The Hotcast. Kindly read our blog at www.thehotcast.blogspot.com. We appreciate your support, guys. Subscribe to our channel, share this video, give us a thumbs up, leave us your feedback in the comment section so that we may know how to improve our content. So guys, yesterday President William Ruto appealed to Kenyans to give him more time to lower the cost of living, specifically the prices of maize flour. Ruto said his government will need a year to be able to lower the cost of living and reduce the price of essential commodities. He was speaking during the groundbreaking for Soweto East Zone B social housing project in Kibra, Nairobi. So the president said that the intervention he has put in place to reduce the cost of food, such as provision of affordable fertilizer to farmers, will need a year to pay off. He affirmed his commitment to reduce the cost of living, saying that by providing cheap fertilizers to farmers, they would produce enough food to be able to sell at affordable prices to consumers. On the cost of unga, Ruto said those who spoiled the prices of maize flour and let it rise to 230 did it in 4 years, but give me 1 year, I will fix it. The president abolished Kazi Mtaani, a social security project started by his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta. Ruto said rather than the menial jobs that the beneficiaries were doing under Kazi Mtaani, the youth would be employed in affordable housing projects. He said, we are not only doing this because we need houses, but because we also need jobs. Kazi Mtaani is in the past. In this project alone, we will employ 2,500 youth. You will not need to go around picking trash anymore. That is gone. The work will be to construct houses, he said. The president said, had a wider plan to construct houses in every constituency in Nairobi. In 2 weeks, he said he would commission another affordable housing project in Makongeni, where some 2,500 units are under construction. He said the government owns 3,000 acres of land in Nairobi, which could be utilized for construction of affordable housing units. We will need more than 20,000 youth to work in that project so that we create enough employment opportunities without needing anyone to go around picking trash, Ruto said. So the Kibra project will consist of 4,054 housing units, which will be allocated to slum dwellers who are evicted from their land to pave way for the project. The project is aimed at offering residents an opportunity to become house owners through an affordable rent-to-own program for from as low as 2,400 per month. That is for a one-bedroom house. Earlier in the month, Ruto was in Mukuru to inspect the progress of a similar project. He said by investing in affordable housing projects across the country, he would provide housing and employment opportunities. Local manufacturers, Juakali sector, are expected to provide construction materials and their skills to the project. He said, I understand we have an employment problem and we will solve that with the affordable housing program. The president struck a conciliatory note with the residents of Langata constituency, a bastion of opposition leader Raila Odinga, saying the time for politics was over and he intended to work for all Kenyans. All of us agree that the time for politics is done, and I want to assure you that there is no citizen who belongs to the opposition and another who belongs to the government. We are all Kenyans, he said. But then this did not go well with some members of parliament, or rather with many Kenyans, because the president, if you remember, he famously said, nikiweka tu Biblia chini hivi, bei ya unga inashuka and all that. So Naisula Lesuda was on the case of the president in parliament, and she really dressed down the president for lying to Kenyans, for promising Kenyans things that he will not perform, things that he will not fulfill, empty promises. You know, he said that he will bring down the cost of living within 3 months. Unga will be 70 shillings and all that. But now he's actually asking Kenyans to give him another 1 year. Another 1 year for what? She said that for 1 year Kenyans will wait while they eat fertilizer, because now fertilizer is cheap. So let's listen into Naisula Lesuda and listen to what she had to say in parliament concerning the president. So thank you so much, guys, once again. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. Remember to share this video. Kindly hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when we upload new videos, when we go live. And remember to subscribe. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Good conduct, you actually degree is not even needed to be approved to be a cabinet secretary, and to probably correct some of the aspersions that have been cast upon the committee under the chairmanship of Honorable Speaker, which he did a fantastic job to actually chair that committee. You wouldn't have known who is in the majority, who is in the minority. I believe because we were also even being vetted by Kenyans on how we conducted ourselves, we asked pertinent questions that touch on Kenyans, and we were from diverse counties and constituencies, and so the questions that we asked also reflected the various needs of Kenyans from across the country, Madam Speaker. It is then unfortunate for members to come and say that we were just playing politics, we were biased, or that even as minority we are settling scores in this House. Madam Speaker, and I thank members of this House for approving us to go and sit in that vetting committee. When we present ourselves to run for office, we are vetted by the public. They know who we are, they know what we stand for, they decide whether you want them to represent them or not. And so the vetting takes place at the ballot. But when we are then presented as a committee to do our vetting, we give our opinion that this is what we think, having sat through long hours. We used to sit from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and you listen to each candidate. We look at the requirements, both the statutory requirements of whether you have the documentation and the things that are needed, and also whether you fit the office. And that is why otherwise we would just then ask you whether you have the EACC document, you have the good conduct, you actually degree is not even needed to be approved to be a cabinet secretary. But then we went ahead to ask the questions and to really question your suitability, Madam Speaker. And so I just want to ask the members as they debate that once we presented and we tabled this report, that was our opinion. You will have yours, and you will even have a bigger one because you will actually vote. And so it will be brought, it has been tabled, you will read it, you have read it. You can have a contrary opinion without casting any aspersions to the committee members. And also to my colleagues in the majority side. When now they want, we had a unanimous decision. And now to say it was from the minority side alone, that is also unfortunate, because you know, you can't table something and then also want to run away from it, or to make us look like, you know, we're the bad ones, and even make the women more bad because it's a woman on it. These are just our opinions, and you can have your opinion. And I think the majority whip, by thinking you're helping Honorable Malonza by bringing issues of her periods on this floor, you are actually making it worse, because we didn't judge her on that. And I just want to tell you this. Those are not the things we were looking at. And you cannot also bring the issues when it becomes on issues to do with women to trivialize it. to become about our moods, our emotions, our periods, that day I didn't wake up on the right side of the bed, that's why I didn't answer the questions right. Actually, you are even making it worse. That maybe what we said in the committee, you're actually propagating it. And so when you discuss issues, women, don't trivialize it. Don't go to that level. And that is just something that I wanted to say. Madam Speaker, thereof, I would like to present to this House that just apart from talking about the three nominees, you will have your opportunity to debate and even to cast your vote on what the committee thought about. But I just want to say quickly that one of the observations I also noted in the composition of the nominees is that there was no youth, there was no one who's under 35, and I believe that there are Kenyans, young people in this country, who can actually sit in the cabinet. We also have people living with disability who are, which is actually in our constitution, that when we constitute, different boards, positions, cabinet, I do hope that His Excellency the President will then consider people living with disability with the subsequent nominations in PSs and other positions in boards, and even the young people of this country. And since he didn't meet his promise when he signed the charter of 50-50 in gender, I hope then he can do it also in the subsequent nominations. But so that as I finalize, there are various issues, because it was not just about who has been approved, and it's also wrong to say that we just rejected as the minority some because they were politicians. We also approved some politicians. So, you can say what suits you, whether you're supporting or opposing. We also approved politicians as a committee. I want to say this, that there are a number of issues that are on this report and that we extensively asked questions about, and you could tell that there are things that Kenyans, because we were also receiving questions from Kenyans, and you can see the things that Kenyans are consistently concerned about. And one of them is the cost of living, and so that once the nominees are passed, and especially those in this House and sworn in, especially those that their docket touches on the economy, those that their dockets touch on food security in this country. We are facing a severe drought like no other. Probably, I'm told, that resembles one of the 80s. We are facing drought in this country, cost of living, the issues of youth in this country. We also have issues of corruption. Kenyans are really watching these nominees. Why we were asking what you're worth. We will be checking also as this parliament to see in the next 5 years what you have been able to get and how you've gotten it. And also issues of following the rule of law, not only when it suits you, but as something, and also the respect of the Constitution. And so as I conclude, for the nominees that will be passed in this House, the other reason why we were vetting you is that we will hold you to account to the things that you said to us, because you didn't just say it to that committee. We were sitting there on behalf of also all these members. So you were actually speaking to this parliament, you were also speaking to Kenyans, and you were speaking also to the international community, because this was really followed. Because when you're a CS, as one of my colleagues has said, you're not the PS. Yes, we agree, you're not the technocrat, but at least you should have a general knowledge and policy of that docket. At least shape, what are you telling us? What is your policy on this matter? And so, to the nominees who will be passed in this House, we will be holding you to account. We will be asking you to account to what you promised Kenyans during that vetting. Don't take it that it was just like a process. It's a process that we were just doing in this House. We have taken note of the promises that you've promised us that you will do if you're approved by this House and you're sworn in. We have a huge responsibility to serve this country diligently, and even to serve the president and the Kenya Kwanza, because they're the ones who have nominated, to make sure that they live to their expectations and to the promises that you made to Kenyans. If you said the Hustlers Fund is going to be without interest, please make sure it won't have interest. If you said you will bring the cost of unga down by 100 days, don't tell us you'll